What happens if you die without a will? Did you know that the government has a plan for your assets? And you might not like it. I'm Sarah Siedentopf. I'm an estate planning attorney in Atlanta, Georgia. So, what plan does the government have for your assets if you die without a will? The first thing is that they decide who gets your assets. The good news here is that they are looking for family in a very specific order and distribution. The bad news is that it's a very specific order and distribution that you might not like, and that everybody sort of gets a cut. So instead of being able to say who gets the house, perhaps your spouse should have the house, and you want to leave some specific things to your kids, everybody kind of gets a piece. So we've got a house that's got a bunch of owners. This can be a problem if you've got minor children and you didn't want your spouse to own the house with a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. This can have some extended costs and legal issues involved with it. It can also be a problem if you've got older children and they maybe don't want mom or dad to have the whole house because, suddenly they got, a quarter, a third, or whatever of the house, and they're thinking they might keep it. What order does the government decide to distribute in? It's easy if you've got just a spouse, no kids, all to your spouse. If you've got kids, no spouse, all to your kids. If you've got kids and a spouse, things start to get more complicated. Your spouse can't get less than a third. So if there's one spouse, one child, it's half and half. If there's one spouse, 2 children, it's a third, a third, a third. And then if we have more children than that, spouse is still getting a third, and the children are splitting that other 2/3. This can be a big problem if we maybe have minor children and we're expecting the spouse to take care of them as they legally have to, and you were thinking that they would be able to do it with those assets. Guess what? They cannot. The court is going to decide that they have to save them for the kids. This can be a huge financial hardship on your family. The other thing is going to be if we've got those older kids and we have an older spouse. They needed those assets to take care of themselves. Maybe they're retired, can't work, something like that. It was not the plan to leave them high and dry. This can be a huge issue if it's not properly planned for. Now, if we don't have a spouse, we don't have kids, then the law is looking for grandkids, it's looking for great-grandkids. If we don't have anybody downline, it's going back up to see, do we have parents? Do we have siblings? It goes on out, nieces and nephews, aunts and uncles, cousins. It is legitimately looking for some family member. But again, we're not giving the specific things to people that we want. We're not perhaps avoiding the people that we don't want. This is the first thing. The government decides who gets what, and everybody sort of has to deal with it. The second thing is that the government has decided that no one is trustworthy, and they will impose extra things on the administrator, the personal representative of your estate. So that person will have to get an insurance bond just in case they do something bad. So there's insurance to collect against. They will have to do an inventory, which is a long list of every single thing you own. Think of all the stuff in your house. And they have to put values on it. And they have to sometimes say where they got the values from. So sometimes we're paying for valuations. Then the annual return every single year, and again at the very end when we're closing out the estate, they've got to do a list of everything that's in the estate with its value, what things came out of the estate, where they went, what the ending value is. This can be huge. There's often CPAs involved or some other financial type analyst to prepare this properly, because we may be dealing with not just the estate account, but some things that happened before there was an estate account, so coming from a different account. There may be stocks that are still changing in value. There may be things that have gained 16 cents of interest over the year. It can be a really big, expensive job. If you have a will, you can choose someone you trust and waive these things so that all of this money isn't coming out of your estate and all of this time isn't being spent by your loved ones. These are the things that happen that the government decides for you if you don't have a will, and having a will can avoid it. If that's something that you would like to talk about, please let me know. I would love to hear from you.